Enyumre no nsia kase ebo ne de bremo peace 104.3. Okay 101.7 lead 100.9. Your ship house Abeka Junction Accra. Hello 101.5 FM Kumase Edu Mama ya mamu nyina adwo. Enyumre nsia man na mahodo so nsema yensaka na ye de bremo yi.
Die di mu akotini bi ene se America mampanya be de akire wa be pie mu oman mu kire se ebibrem ha sei ensam eda na koma so pa se ebenyini.
This continent, of course, has a special significance for me personally as the first Black Vice President of the United States of America.
Akan mampanyi John Dramani Mahama edi atudwa se ye kan mampanyi Akufo-Addo ene Dr. Mahmoud Bawomi aban no wo mu ni hwe papa bia de ma Ghana
nyombe ya no maye no meka sure mo se o mampanyi adwuma no enafom na mu ni eho experience mom ben akonya no poda eho framampo emfa mo so da enti mu ndim se na etie
Edom kuma e wo mrahye bedwam nso wo mu e kire se esafata se asue ya wo mu hwe sikasam so wo mu ede district assembly common fund no on betimi ayi se sika no de abantem na o matimi aboa mampuntudwuma so akonto sanso ena emrahye bedwafo ede ato University of Ghana anim se court ahye anase court abu asem efa Commonwealth Hall ho ensensem no na omonhwe na wo munni emra no so pepepe.
Associations and individuals who are called on the management of the University of Ghana to heed the decision of the court and to ensure that continuing students who resided in Commonwealth Hall are reinstated.
Seshi bekwai manhene ena wode atu edwase mampanyi Akufo-Addo won hwe se ene MC permanent one de obetena ho a woni MP enkwaya apre na ekoba se ye mampuntu ontumi enkoso. Christian Health Association of Ghana womo ede afutu ama Ghana fo nyina se so bi enya HIV Asia eya yenya se ye pampam wo mo no na ekoba sa emma wo mo entumi enya enkwatenten entenase ensem bi ka ho ne de bramo ewo kasebo mu enwumako bi adaroma
Osons chemist enwumre wo de Osons garlic capsules and afei Osons baby gripe water and aso yasene. We there for you everywhere you go. MTN High Sense Ghana, everyday prices for everyday people. Ketios Marketing Agency onum and a day 5G non-alcoholic drink Mizo and afe aperitivo beta abadwaso your Pepsodent cavity fighter apo sen papa afe wo de no to nchen Forever Construction and Consultancy Limited womo na Ayrton sase a asem ani ho 0501 518347 0501 518347 and 0509 99828 0509 99828 sanwako ya da roma na wote yenka enanwumre yi akenkan fo wote yenkan eyeme nana ya okese na
akosua sapon afeka se bono emu ensem enie NDC amanyoko no nipa ba ko anani abre na wo hwe se ye be na tu franka enkane wono anso na ye Ghana mampanyi eye yewura John Dramani Mahama na ene eye da etosu mienu ewo nefu amiensa wode ekọ apro wo mfimfini mantamu na wo hwe se da edikan no wo ofiti ase ewo esikuma doben brakwa constituency na no eno ne party delegates edidi nkita ho executives no so no mo ekasaye na ne nkasaye mu eno o kire se sesi ya ye kasai Ghana mampanyi na Nado Danko Akufo-Addo ene Dr. Mahmoud Bawomi a won maban no de on be ya no ma ye o mu ni bibia bio wo hwe se de ne Ghana fo ahokire pa fitai a omanfo efam no wo mabu o maso o manua a wo mo nhwe ye kra se wo mo be ma obi aho atono na hwe Dr. Mahmoud Bawomi a obeka se wa ye adwuma Bank of Ghana da enu nti wa bai ene bibi obeye bia obeye magic bibia baya kama na so we ene yi sana eye enada ena wode eba wo cheche ni nsemu sei
Ghana for yes NDC mombeje mobo na mokaye yentie na enyame hihye so anka mba ne sanso a anka bibia ni ho a ye be ya ebe Ghana for fe ye hu omo nyombe ya no maye no meka sure mo say ɔmampanyin adwuma no ɛnafom na muni ɛho experience mom bɛn akonya no mpoda ɛho frama mpo ɛmfa mosoda enti mundim sɛ na ɛteɛ yɛba yɛbɛyɛ mekai sɛ ɔmampanyin abɛdiakyire teachers are suffering, nurses are suffering, and children are suffering, and parents are suffering. Mokai asem no ɛnɛ mpo ne suffer chain de bia I say I've worked in Bank of Ghana before. I can tell you that the money is there. We don't need to borrow to develop this country. And then more bobosia ma afe etimintia yakebio.
Enoachi enkane mampanyi John Dramani Mahama de nani echere Gomua de Rampon eno ewo Gomua West constituency ehonso oni omanfo ekasaye na no eno chere se afimpi no ne aduonu nan de yeku chop edema NDC na sisi ano de esese omanfo ene delegate no eye nyina ne se wo mo vote no ene ballot box no mbebo ho ban enwoma ne aka de esese de ka wo ho no mo de beka ho entete ya ewo se de ma wo no wo mbehwese nyina bekoso pepepe se de be ya party ni betimi adi nkunim
na asa na nkunim de ne beba no na ejina your branch executives mo na mo bedi campaign nenim mo so eno mbehwe abato adaka no so that day obia ent na fie na edikan ye beba beje names of party agents for training ye be train omo emprenum ansa na ya to aba no me so me hye mobo se enioma mu be hia for sa campaign no se t-shirt so se sikao se bicycle so se pickup so se abobo yawo baby a mekwa akonya sa enioma na ba nyina me de beba ne dia campaign no
na ya hwe nimu se enkane mampanyi John Dramani Mahama bepiem ewo Infantiman Ebra Sebu kwaman kese Cape Coast North nene South afe Himan Lower entwifo etimokwa na wenum nyina ne ensentro ni listo we aboaje da Costa de akire a wode ho amanebo ebeba na yenkwa homa ne so ne ne no nkasa mbisa ne se ehefa e na wadura na listo we amajoy
ya na menu aba
yo ehefa na enkane mampanyi waduru
yo emprempre de se de udi kan e de atu dwa no ye hwe Ghana mampani dada John Dramani Mahama anim ewo tufu Himalwa denchra na afi tufu atimu kwa mensini mu sa abatu ompesu asi aka omu ho abomu a omu nyina me no ka sei omu abeboa no ewo tufu praso a eno ye tufu atimu kwa abatu empesu aso ase omu de twai Ghana mampani dada John Dramani Mahama anim se obeba na ne nsem a wo edema wo mu no wo de abre wo mu ebra mpanifo de to ye anim se enkane mampani John dada John Dramani Mahama oba bedu tufu praso ye tufu atimu kwa mensini mu aye nonum nanso so ebra anonko ebopa ho ntimadi asamtre 130 ana party ma wo mo tukwati mu kwa mainstream apeso tufu Himalwa denchira mainstream ene Ghana ko bebre no a ebobo otwi ewo tufu pra so ha wo mu nyina ehwe omampani anim me no ka say enya de se wa ba beduru nanso wo hwemu a ahemfo atitiri wo tufu Himalwa denchira ana afi tukwati mu kwa mainstream wo mu nyina de wo mo nyam e ba betwe Ghana mampani dada wo mu nyina wo ha me no ka say afi constituency executives what you put him requirements to Himalwa dentra omu nyina so abepie mu ha branch executives na aba na afi Ghana for ebebro empimpim a NDC amayoko no adehia ebi enso ka ho emprempre so no eyade a ebra na NDC aban ne ewo so no former government officials bi di say emrase bedwani a dada watwam honorable Samuel Afuamu a na afi aban ka jepani a ono so atwamu honorable Bosman Oseshi aman omu nyina aba bepie mu ha ebambo ho nsem eyade a police ede aguna kwan mu ye papa tufu atimu kwa de police command no enso abo mo modin ye papa hwe se ebambo ho nsem ebra ye twa o mampani dada Mahama anyway na de ekosum prempren de ye wo betia ne se debi yo John Mahama debi onapo mama no ye enumto ene asa ena o manfo edi ede twa Ghana mampani dada enim se oba bepi mu ye da ho wa ha obedu ane nsem a obeka bi no ye betwe egu ahoma so ne ye da Peace FM ye tifo
ye beda se ene amanebo listo aboaje da Costa na amanebo ena yete ye no na ene ya ye ka sei na National Democratic Congress NDC amanyokuo no won mo ekwafa forms se wo mo pese omutu frank ama amanyokuo no eye enipa makomako enan nanso so ewi ase no sese yakwakoye miensa ni nyina eye enkane mampanyi John Dramani Mahama afei enkane Metropolitan Chief Executive ana owo Asante Mantemu Yewura Kojo Bonsu afei enkane soafo na ohwesi kasem so Dr. Kwabnadofo wo mo egyina na yade wo mo efa veti mu tototo wo ma no wo mani so ade hunu ewo amanyoko ne ho ene aba ye kwakoto no mo wie ni nyina no na ye se ye balloting dia mo enti mpanifo ye balloting ni nyina wie ye no ansa na kra balloting ne bekoso no na owura eneskwaku kobia a oye businessman ono so ba ye senko ba begina bia oye enipa otoso enan no afede watwe ne ho so obetwe ne ho na nipa miensa no a akọ enti ekoba asa no moto balloting ni nyina wie ye no na nkane mampanyi John Dramani Mahama ofa number 1 na Yewura Kojo Bonsu also efa number 2 na Dr. Kwabnadofo wono so efa number 3 enti akwakoye sei ne de na chese obi ahunu ba bi a ogina ewo krata no a wo mbeto aba no ana omde omukokromoti ebetim so NDC presidential and parliamentary primaries no sei nyame ya adom a meda etoso edu miensa ene ehwe animu sei empanifo ebeto abai ewo so mekire delegate no sansem we nyina no Salamat kuku apinti wono ena ede ebreyen
America mampani abedi achire Kamala Harris eba Ghana obabebo na dwumamu apro ewa hasei one mpanifo atwetwe nkomo okọ gwai kra akọkọhwe bebi abrofo babefa ye nananom nkoa ene ade nyina na mami ene sanjofo akasa wose nani age pa Ghana obaye nani je pa ne ma ohun yeso so ahye ni nkran na ade ma ko eda na koma so pa ne se ono ye bibini ya odi kan a wabe mampani abedi echire e wa America man mu no kwan bia obefa so ono so obeboa ama abibiman atu empon no obefa so wose so ono ankasa ho no oti na boss ya otietie mu a de ba be pie se ne na bema ne na nkanso bema ebre bi beye afe apema ankra duosia mu 1960 mu ho ba bi no oba be ye adwuma bi wo Zambia ho eti enye nwanwa se wono no ni nchifiri ebibre mu ha sei enye nwanwa kra na de esi nani so opeso na ebibiman yesesi a yeku adwuma afa mfiri dwuma ankra de na adwene esesa adwuma afa emma ya ye ma omutumi no omde ye adwuma amamuo papa ena afa abefo nkrato ho additional digitization eno ne niema ehia no pa ya wode eba be adwuma sansem nyina na kansem a enra Mame Kamala Harris editu dwa ewo man adwabrim bra na wone Ghana fo etwetwe enkomo.
Our people, we have an intertwined history, some of which is painful and some of which is prideful, and all of which we must acknowledge, teach, and never forget. Because of this history, this continent, of course, has a special significance for me personally as the first Black Vice President of the United States of America. And this is a history, like many of us, that I learned as a young child. Stories, cultures, and traditions passed down from generations. In addition, this continent has a personal meaning for me because my grandfather and other members of my family worked in Zambia in the 1960s alongside a newly independent people. I was fortunate enough to visit them in Zambia as a young girl. The values that guided my relatives when they were there and the legacy of their efforts remain a source of pride for my entire family.
Na otu maburu nso fo se enya adwumaden na maburu tu ho ache ne adwumaden na ebema bibiman atumpon
Problems that we haven't yet identified with solutions we can't even yet imagine. So all of this to say, you, and in particular the young leaders here, you have a role to play. And together we have a role to play. So then, let us dream with ambition and lead with conviction.
America mampani abedi echire ya wode nansa eba probo Ghana ha Kamala Harris nensam a wode eto emabru ni Ghana fo nyina nim bie bra o kire na dwen afa niam a ogiri sabiman so ye de ani edi echira beboa ama yedi yi William Gentu ena de breye
ena edom kuma wonum ewo mrahye bedwam ene nsentwerofo hia ye press conference na womu ka kire omu se ukọ district assemblies a sika asesa womu nsaka na womu de yentoto yeboa hema assembly ahodo no mpuntu atimi koso no enkoye sika be 6.2 billion Ghana cedis ena asoye hwe sika samso womu enyemu emfama wonum eno ena nam so ma minority whip governs Agboja wode ato nsentwerofo anim se womu anhwe ni ya so ombekwa kwotena mrahye bedwam no ma business anase adwuma omukwaye na koso de ombejai esan se so hwe district assemblies no a womu ebre ena wo hwe constitution ni mu nso a eni kwan se womu ebuso.
It is quite clear that since 2018, Common Fund is unable to receive an amount of over 6.2 billion Ghana cedi, which is money due in accordance with Article 2522 of the Constitution. And my colleagues on the committee will tell you that it is not an option for government whether to pay the money or not. The money has been collected in terms of tax. It is an illegality for our Honorable Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, not to pay those monies to the assemblies. Today, what it means is that there are many assemblies that staff go to work and do nothing, basically go and sit around the table, do nothing and close. As a result, the assemblies are unable to provide the services that are required of them.
Minority whip Odmonyamfo governs Agboja ena yeti se o kasa no achi minority ranking member Committee on Local Government and Rural Development. Eyo Odmonyamfo Nilante Vanderpoy. Ono so eche se committee natural krata de akoma so afo hwesi kasam so se omra no mechirechire nsemu. Na nso de krata ekoye besi ne omaye ena ono so awonyia no.
Seriously, let me say this, we have severally tried. We have even made that input on the floor of the House. And the Speaker of Parliament has ruled that the Ministry of Finance should appear before the Joint Committee of Finance and Local Government to make sure that these issues are resolved. Up to today, the Ministry of Finance has not. At the Local Government Committee level, we've written twice inviting the Minister of Finance to come meet with us so that we can furnish the House with intentions of the Minister of Finance to make sure that they adhere to the principles enshrined in Article 252 of the Constitution. We've filed questions. Up to today, that has not been done. This is serious because today, all the assemblies are at their knees. You all come from various assemblies. If you like, make a tour any of your district assemblies and go and see what is happening there.
Minority ranking member Committee on Local Government and Rural Development. Odmonyamfo Nilante Vanderpoy. Ene yete se okasansem we nyina no ye Emmanuel Akoli ene William Gentu womo ene de free emrahye bedwam ebreye.
Na yada so emrahye bedwam ene asamba ko a asie ya Ghanafo ene di akire pa ne se emra no a wo ho se asie no so obi yese o hye ne ho akonfo na nyame bua sa nipa no wa nwu a eno no ye kye no ya chewo nso a ya ba okwa adu se wa ba otimpo se wo kwa akodi awuo enti eno so ya do kokko gina mranim e do fa mranum pepepe se de etie no a so ene emrahye bedwa na tena se ayi saa nhehye na firi ho se obi yese okwa akoku ne ho no wa nwu a ye mfa awudie nkwa adu bia emo no dache ye de mu nkomo nyina ebebre mu na nsafufuro mu no mrahye bedwafo titiro ene wone a wonom kokogye ntete e wo University of Ghana wonom akache university ni se sabio oman no mra ye ba kope ena so na ase wo ho odene na wo so wase den ekura no a se court kasa esese udi so na ade a University of Ghana ye na nyefe se asema kwa koda court ama court abua court kura kase wo de montwen na de no wo ho se ne etie no akobim se ebebua University of Ghana de mo se jai mo nti jai ena mode court asem no kra na court ofutu ode ma mo mode ato nchen ena mo ye ne amope na saade no University of Ghana eye no enyefe etimrahye bedwafo no bi akasa e wo ho de odikan eye Dr. Clement Apak wono de o se se suapon no ebesi gina se adesuafo no omde omo wo mu dada no omo nyina mfiri ho ho nkanka na omo wo Commonwealth ho no wo mfiri ho na freshers na afrofo na baninya baabi na ne de omote ase kwan bi aso a enye yie.
By this statement, Mr. Speaker, we the alumni of Commonwealth Hall, known popularly as Old Vandals in the Parliament of Ghana, back calls by associations and individuals who are called on the management of the University of Ghana to heed the decision of the court and to ensure that continuing students who resided in Commonwealth Hall are reinstated to provide them the peace of mind for the academic activities pending the final determination of the case. The continuous refusal of the management of the University of Ghana to reinstate the affected students as ordered by the court is unacceptable, unlawful, and must not be countenanced.
Sadia Omaye, Enyefe, Ujituma Enye Yeniso be atrase, so Dr. Clement Apak. And what Chidoma is a Mrasebejani, Unonya for Paul, Chumbema, and so to invest in no phone say. Wamonche, and a court of Futu Adiamo Mono. Wamo Emunenimtia.
They can't flout the law. It is a court order. For an institution like the of Ghana to disregard a court order, it is something that this house must take it seriously, and we must act as soon as possible. Because the rest of Ghana has produced bigger law students. Of course, my brother Watson is a product of the rest of Ghana Law School, and he is happy. We are proud of that. How do we allow ourselves to go through such process? Mr. Speaker, this is a call for every member. This is a call for all of us to stand for the truth. That is our motto.
Afei apomde so afo ejaku kwakwaji menu honorable ono so ka say e nwanwa pa se suapon te say University of Ghana edem rabehwe wo musam no maye de omuyi.
To bring some pressure to bear on the university to obey the laws of this land. How do you, disregard the court order? And Mr. Speaker, in your own language, and in my the vernacular, we say that the fact is that if you don't have elders in your home, go unto you. Why will you want to take away all continuing students and bring in fresh students and postgraduate students who wouldn't have anything to have done with Commonwealth for? How would they learn? How would they go through the rituals and the type of things we used to do in Commonwealth for to give us the confidence that makes us become leaders, parliamentarians, and bold people, the best gentlemen, the best husbands, and what have you? Responsible fathers. There's a lot to be learned from Commonwealth for.
Now, the Kwakamu, and Rashabajamu Chame, Abedi Chila Odikai, Unmonyam Joe or say Wusu, Eka say, and Rashabajamu Koya Mosha Mumashina Swana. Omonfa sa asem isa asem hia na omo entiatie mu yie na omonfa ho asem emeto mrahye bedwanenim
and to report back to us why the university authority headed by the immediate past chief justice, she is the chairman of the university council, so we expect that she would ensure that the law and order, respect for the courts, the sanctity of the court orders are respected. So I direct that the statement be referred to the Committee on Education to engage the university authorities to why they should not obey the instructions of the university.
Odmonyamfo Joseph Osei Wusu mrahebedwamu chiame abedi echira odi kan be kwai mrahebedwani ena yete nka no.
Yada so wo mrahebedwani owo Busa South ono na ye deputy ranking member Education Committee ewo mrahebedwani munyamfo Dr. Clement Apak ena odi abetu dwase ene ya ka say ye kan suku ahodo sika esese ye de koma aban suku ahodo yi a wombetimi de ayentoto ye aboa ama suku no atimi akonanimu a sika ne nyina ntimi nkoduru ye eno ya afimpinu ne aduonumienu de wo chese sika na esese kono 60 million Ghana cedis na enso so afimpinu ne aduonumienu no wo mo de 15 million Ghana cedis pe ene koya aka 45 million Ghana cedis besi sabre won fa sika ne nkoye na wo ka kira ban se won fa Ministry of Education so no won fa na ni braso ntem so no won fa sika no a aka no emfa nko se de be ya wo mo betimi aye entotoye e wo suku ahodo nim.
For the 2022 budget year, government allocated and we in Parliament approved an amount of 60 million Ghana cedis for capitation grant. As I speak to you, government owes capitation grants for the previous budget year at a whopping amount of 45 million Ghana cedis. What that says is that government was only able to remit 15 million. For the current year in question, the request was 61 million for capitation grant. Government only brought 11 million for us to approve. So ideally, government should be making available to the basic schools capitation grants in excess of 106 million Ghana cedis.
Now what was which level says Sukuni be or wha? Esa sika yi a woman sanka yenti. Woma call bromosia and omode a school into to na we no any pa.
Capitation grant scheme was instituted in 2005, and the purpose of this was to ensure that basic school was accessed free. The purpose of the capitation grant is to finance the administration and day-to-day needs of public basic schools. The grant is supposed to cover the maintenance of schools, to be used to procure items like chalk, attendance registers, to fix broken doors and windows, and minor renovations in our public basic school system. But because government has failed to do the needful, many heads of basic schools have had to borrow monies to ensure that the schools run.
Any ayeti ye Mrashebedwani owo Busa South. Onwanso ye deputy ranking member, education committee. Onmonyan for Dr. Clement Apak. And somewhere ye different Mrashebedwam ebre mu nyina. William Gentu ene Yera Emmanuel Akole ena ede ebaye.
Sahi bakwai manhene eyo ye ade yie basape kwadwama wotoso mienu. Wane na trankonwa ede adesede ato Ghana mampani na nadanko akufu ado anim se nada roma wompe abankra chepani na womehwe mansini no so na ebasa no a ebeboa pa ama mansini no atu empon na lawyer Alfred Oben Boaten ye oye omo emra Hyebedwani no ohia abankra chepani a wone no ebo se be ya wono betimi aka bo no de asomdwe ahwe mansini so ama watu empon oya ade yie basape kwadwama otoso emienu ede nsamu atu dwa ene wo kan se efri se abanka chipani ya no wo ho no ekọ ekura no mantam no esoafo onimonyamfo Richard Eba Oben efre Bia West kane abanka chipani John Kwa se womra mehwe akiri nanso enkamra mu pa no enye saa ena etie wo se efri se abanka chipani ya no wo hwe babiani anwea so bekwa amansi no so Onimonyamfo Alfred Amwa ohia nkwanhye wo ya kita onsa ana July bosome nda etoso dum yenu na yeda banada afi etwa mu ebesisi abre ya kasa yi wonum nyanya abanka chepani wogidi se abanka chepani omunni no akoatia wo mo pa mampuntu a esese enkasahwi babiani anwea so bekwa amenzi no wonsaka no wonsantumi nkan
MC dada ne ka baby no MC position no abedaho na the minimum say omafa ubia oye acting sisia a odi say adwuma no na anye bia no substantive MC no na yepe ewa ase na minimum say omampanyini ene na pamfo ehwehwem na omayi MC a obeba municipal no obeka assembly wabeka MP ho na omodi adwumadie no a efata so medi wa hase no enti omampanyini na yehwe nanim say obetu obi amana bedi MC no na kakra me wo fa ho no say de menhunu ewo municipal amambu no mu assembly no nokrenie etosini enso ani inkabo mu ni ho na bebreni ye kasakasa ne omuntema ente
na yewura esan esre mampani se nada roma se wanya nanim adomo kasa de ane o sre mampani se enema bi oho a enhyeda nya de bi eso a gise bankran ansa na yensa aka sabanka chepani oho a obetimi ayere ntentententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententententent wɔgyidi yie paa sɛ baabi ani anwea so bɛkwae abatoɔ mpɛsoa ne mansini nyinaa no wɔnom ehia mpuntu a ɛkyɛn ne a yɛhunu yi
betimi akasa fa be quite traditional area. So wohwe mpuntu adwuma ebi enkoso wa ha no ehame. Public toilet a mo hyase first term omanwie it's all uncompleted. So in siwo NSA. Yeah, health center you see in the early 80s in Pijahe there's not a single renovation koso. And so any na your marketing nso no omoba ebegito nsi yehu mfaso a edibo market. Mesre omampanyini say obe appointed this next MC say obefa obi a obetimi ne MP aye adwuma na omaboa ama assembly no adwumadie na akoti ma district kese am de to omampanyini ene local government ni say omumfa MP enka ho omutu obi a obedi MC no wa ha
oya de yie basape kwadwo ama otoso mienu sahwi bekwai mahene na wode nsem we atu yenua Kwame Konto Boaten ya wo Lord FM sahwi bekwai Western North region anim na yemoto ne nkokumase ye kokumase a de omu ane se na numu ho a eja no ekokọ hye sa edwakese kete edwakese no eho akwakohia se opeba asomfo bi a wono be hwemu afa de ma eja ne baaye na afi wono asusu bibi akire mpanifo ye hwe mantam no so se be ya wono ebetimi aso ano na ekina bi ebi NCB mu na committee of inquiry a wono mapa Kumasi Kejetia market no wada wono madi ewo regional coordinating council hall Kumasi na no peya nondu na woni a ewo so enie Professor Theophilus Ejekumi ono ni titrani Department of Construction Technology and Management KNUST Francis Kofi Esquire ono eye member we private legal practitioner and asset lawyer managing director MS Kofi and Partners Law Conclave Kumasi Ura Kofi Ampon eye member ono eye valuer and a property manager real estate consultant Daniel Kwaku Dente eye member deputy director general National Disaster Management Organization in charge of finance and administration Mrs. Emilia Ayaben Butchi were a member no sanye secretary regional coordinating director regional coordinating council Ashanti region adwuma eso omunye ene say de edikan wo mo hwehwe asem no mu enkonkosi ase na mo nche o masonso omuntietem na omfa nokure a ewo mu de ma eja no ekokoto sa akejeti adwanum obenim busumi da etoso edu enum afei wo mo nsan enhwehwe mu bio na wo mo enkyerese bibi bi o hwa nanka wono betimi ya wanye enti na kokoma eja no kokoto edwanum ana afei wo mo nsan hwehwe mu se ekwan a kejeti ano ankasa mpanifo ehweso no etoto niema no bibia da na kwa mu pepepe ana na wama wono na wotwe miensa se wamunye adwuma na wamomfa wamo report emre so afo a ohwe mpotamu amemu enhyehye so na afei wamunyina so ana de ombehu wo mu bia no wamomfa danse enta akire nyina so a ema wonom ekokonya saa enyina so na wamomfa mra se be ya se omutumre kire hu si a benefo abekenka report no behu se okay we no omukan no ne ma eba yi na na sensusu ne de omopenie omunye ne saa na wotwe miensa odumonyamfo Daniel Kwaku Butwe ya wo ye so afo ohwe mpotamu amamu ene hyehye so ena ode nsa hye saa kratai ase a yeso yensa ka bie
Concerned Drivers Association of Ghana womo achesa ya omonwo yie ewo kwan a emrahye bedwafo efa so ema womo eje asoafo yi a mampanyi bo wo mudin yakwatoto omanu ewieye na omusi titiru pa eye edomkuma sede omusi reta so na fa ewi ase no womo egetu mu ne de omuti ase a enye yie eno ena PRO anade oni amansa di nkita ho makuei owura David Agboado wode etudwa se edomkuma de a womo ye die amma womo ani da so nyina sa nanka womo ogidie se mrahye bedwam die adie bia womo beye bia no womo adwene Ghana fo wansa nanso ase womo ankasa pesa minkuminya ene ani brebi ena womo asa bekoya ama omunti ena omutu anamon a etise yie na ahweye pa na omo ka kire omo se womo hwe ye nya sa omanyi sede womo si eye aban a wote so ene sede mrahye bedwafo ye no de omo beye bia no ha adwene aban efre nipa foforo so omumra na omumeya asoafo a eya na ha adwene ye edienti e na obeye sa Ghana fo so ebre enunti eni kwan se wo mutu anamon wa ye sa na omatu sa anamon no ama wo magye atum enti eni da so ne de asakura
even IMF, any other stakeholders, advice here say the state aye wom here no ministers need doso. Inti ama pressure wa Ghana person also. Inti ama bibia wusu mo Ghana bia enye yi. Yente so. Ama we are hoping say the parliamentarians, especially the opposition and the minority parliamentarians, a bit diabwa, we the citizens, because they are representing us. It's not necessary pointing or replacement. We don't need it. Even the substantial ministers no am work on. Some more deputies. So the deputies to take over and work. And I ain't no deputy no say we main one in you and deputies not take you over. Here in the parliamentarians have disappointed us, both majority and minority.
Eno achi no panyin sai eto aso se emrahye bedwafo mo fa nani breso na ene ya wo mo nsi ginaye ewo LGBTQ+ hwana no omo na omo nka ema ye hunu ba bi omo gina na omo kan no a omo nka no esan se nei America man panya be de akire wa ha enti wabansra hwe no omo nka no nte ase apreko na enkonkoba se wo bokwa kosi ginaye a no makoye de omo koye ne na ano no ekoba na gidi a omanfo wo mumu ne de na asakra na se wo manhwe na wo mansi ginaye no amaganafo ebo anto wo mo yem a ene o mbeye demonstrations a e de atia efie ho.
The Vice President of America, Ba Wabano, Nina, the LGBTQ issue in Tina Waba. Ye catch on my Muni Nani on my penny say whether say enunti no madecreti Jubilee House for with that careless no say enunti Vice President Nikasa Okai and say gender equality your friend saying human rights in Tina Obaye. Young Africans, we have our right. They also have their right. And then she say, "Obinim na onim na this LGBTQ issue omoji tumwa." We Ghanaians will stand and say what is right to power.
Any IATA Concerned Drivers Association of Ghana, one Kasamafo, Ora David Agboado, and some way no yen Saint Johnny Sika Yim, and a day a buy.
Ghana Health Service and a Christian Health Association of Ghana. Wamo akabum se obobo dawro ama manfo ahunu hia ehia se empemu na basa no manfo wetwe omo ho afiri na afi wabo ho ban ewo bema ene oba empemu na eho asem ho se be ya ebetimi ama HIV AIDS no abrase nanka nyame ye yadom a enu afi mpinu ne aduasa kra de nanka etu ase kra ewo Ghana ha sei na yeka Christian Health Association of Ghana apomden ana apomden adwuma mu nia eye nsore na gidie Christian faku ahodo no dia no wo nkabom kuo ni Christian Health Association of Ghana no wonom na ne Ghana Health Service yes enchechiri na wo mo de akwa kopie apa denchira east ya eno wo mfimfini mantem no ko ya dunkwa onofin eho eno okoye bra woni mpanifo ebo odwa ya wo kasa no ena Central Regional HIV Coordinator Isaac Adisi etu omanfo fo se oba dunkwa onofin ho no a omanfo ewo esi no doso pa doso eni se wi nipa wo ha 100 bia gina nchen a emu aduonu mienu 22 ewo HIV ni bi ehye won ho wi nipa wo ha bia emu aduonu mienu ewo HIV esi ni bi ehye wonom eho enu nti wo sre pa so omanfo nya hweye na de ehu kese kra ne abatan ana opemfo menka ne so opemfo mum opemfo a wo HIV ni bi anhwe a na wode kwa akoma abodoma no a woda ne yam no ena ema no so a eye tire no mo so mo nya ahwe pa wodi uti onse enu ngovuo trim dwie ngovuo trim nema no na wanhwe akoti bibia ye ho afa babes mo so a mo yi tire no esremo se mo machine no mo wi a mo fa fidie ni nro enhohoro so ansa na mo de be yi obi bio mu a mo yi no se be ya ebetimi ama HIV AIDS no abrase enkanka ewo dunkwa onofin.
And then Christian Health Association about Upper Denchral East stakeholder engagement with key stakeholders in TIM for Ghana National Fire Services, Ambulance Services, ASOFO, NCC, and Ghana Education Service, and Omomaka. Now, Yabota, the building side, and say, Yahuse and Pempi, be a friend of stigma and discrimination. Oman for any even their health facilities, yes, and Nomano, Editia, Omom. omo ya HIV omo HIV mwa ni bi omo no ya dictate omo fa hodie so na yetenetene yensan so e wo saafo ne so ye yijimu enti ye be engage stakeholders ya me di kan bobo mo di send ye be ya ye na ye betumi draw action plans ye be hwe ni omo ye betumi di agugu akwan so a e be bresa stigma and discrimination no anwansi.
Na ebra okan we ewie Christian Health Association of Ghana de odi animu Madam Margaret Kaba o say HIV na nkasa no eno nya yare HIV ne de aboawa no a wode AIDS no eba no na no wo widie ma na nkyere se wanya AIDS ni bi na no wobetimi aso ano se be ya emma ne nyini enkonkodane AIDS na mum ahwe ye hia pa e obibie mu
adia bakwa eha HIV for me yourself. Mu senior ye who said so be wo HIV na ye yi mu ana omuntimi nkodi aduru krampo ebi no ho say o see owo HIV on so be abeti eno say dey ye senior ye titi omo like how we stigmatize them, we make life difficult for them. Inti aya omo pese omo bekwa akoji eju inti enu na ya faso ana ya be share ahimfumo religious leaders mo opinion leaders mo nyama bebre wo kwa say ye na HIV force so omo wo sa yare ye omo timi live life normal
ne krakramu municipal principal nurse anase public health nurse Fifri Mantemu ho ono an osan ye deputy health director ye fa Alberta Inkum o se ono de ogiri ye pa se apa dangira is ono aye ka ho asem no se wonom omanfo na wopom woni ye omadwen se so obi wo yarebo ani bi na ye nye na yipamu a ebema so obi wo bi kra no a wo de akokodo be pie akwakogi ni nro no a esoso yare na no antiretroviral drugs no se be ya Emma emwawa no enidia emma nkonko yare kase bia e woni widie mu nanso se beye na omanfo opom won be gya yipamu no eno ne won dadwene
our TB Yarabani Bian, you are exposed to the HIV Yarabana. You would the stigma be brave in Yimuaba when it comes to HIV on a TB Yarabana. May you need you invite him for our way in Chrome. Paying footy to our hangina, Cajon, near far, Pomizimbia, Kakra, far GPRT, your far queen mothers, your far police for na, your far assemblyman for na unit committee Funina, your but you trim come off HIV AIDS on the TB ho. E pede wo boa hen ma e pede nchampotem hade. Yetu me yebre da me yaroba na ase. Na fei o ma stigma o ma aninti nipa wo yaroba ni bia ontum ba pomizembra baje eduro san de eduru wo ho botu wo abo ho ban wo partner no ho ban.
Madam Alberta Inkum and ono so the way etudwa enobene wa e wo Spark FM Dunkwao on Ofin ono and what this aman ye ebre
Ewie ye prem to bre kase bomu na ye nua Kwame Amo ene external communication director Electricity Company of Ghana Leila Abubakar edi nkomo nana wo kasa e de afase wo mo afato wo ho so se nya de a betena ha ma wo mu sika bese 5.7 billion Ghana cedis ahye agukwa eno ene se nkrofo entua ECG kanea ye so no enu nti wo mo kwadwo mu sika eni obi weka se yejeske na eno ena wo mu ekokọ okosam kokọ miamia hodo ebinum wo ho a wo ma ya illegal connections nti wo mu nenam na musa no ena wo mu guso chicheche wo mu na wo bisa se de esi kono na wo chese ekoyie pa se de wo mu si ye no enam sonso ama wo mu a wo ma mfa kwampa so twetwe nkane ano wo mu ehunu bebreti wa ebechew no yedu begina mra nanim
yakonkrofo bebre ho a sika no omuntumi enchia emma ye time na ye buso omo no nti eno saa no ye disconnect omo cause emebu ho no ma utie kan to ye mbeshna no de enjam omo nkotinye so mbe isi power nti eno ye be cut power no na ya ka no ho asem later Sanya ko afei de hu nsɛm pii a ɛwɔ system no asɛ nkurɔfoɔ bebree ayɛ illegal connections koraa me no kasa yi ɛnra yɛn nkurɔfoɔ mo kɔ ebiri hotel bi a friend Hillbury ɔmo ayɛ illegal connection ɔmo de afa phone into meters 3 na yɛ de ama ɔmo nyinaa power bia ɛmfa meter baako mu koraa nkurɔfoɔ bɛde mpa na yɛ kokɔ no yɛhwɛ mmara na yɛbɛtumi ayɛ wɔ no yɛbɛyɛ wɔ hɔ no ma
eno achi no na Kwame Amusa bisa ne se na osu police barracks de no so ekosi se no se an ye no saa na illegal connection no wo ho enti se o ma ye illegal connection de di kan ne se ye betwa o mo kan anim na afa wo ma ba ECG ne ene o ma tena se ne ya hyeda ye o mo bail de ama o mo so se ye ka se police ni bia ensi ho
illegal na no ane say one ma ECG senior osi enya electricity no fa ye meter mo a ebetimi ehu senior wo consume say Ghana police awomo ye MDA inti emrebi wo hono mo kra wo bills na enya omo no mutia sure finance directly na omo tia eka but e was say omo ehhehwe di meter ebo hono mo so that at the end of every month ebetimi estimating amount na omo generate but patron media menti bibia metene de menyanti say obi ne ye abon komo bia omo ne impenyinfo no abon ho komo but nyankasa de menyanti say nkomo bi akoso ana se bibi
na krakra mu no oche se enche bia ECG wo mo beba bonten na illegal connections a wo mo ajejeje nkrofo sika no eno wo mo de abetudwa
Pacho metimi aka say yenya bebre pa but say metimi abo figure ama osisi a de se mekan bia na enya ampa because figures na eba from all your regions no it was say your transnear near aba as a result of exercise na ye no and then as a prepaid phone for now on the normal basis daily sales na ye no it was say near ajeje form no and then near ka ye beje in any case no enti eno mpenyifo no mbehwe omoma ye go ahead ebe announce by all means ye be ka atwa mo sen a yetimi age by the end of 20th April enti no de ubenya figure but enepa de minni sa figure.
External Communication Director, Electricity Company of Ghana, Leila Abubakar, ena yete se okasano.
Na Newmont Ghana Gold, omo ewan hihye se ba bi omo ye adwuma no, odom be bo manfo a ewo pom ho. Nti brano na wabo maburu no bia no firi ho na waye ntete e de ama omo. Na wo kiremu asese wodo adwuma no kokopie ahafo no ho behia se onmo a ye adwuma wa ahafo no so wofa omo na omo ntete nti wabodwa ama ebra oja wonmo omo age ntete na wie kwan no omo osan age afoforo atum ye ka sei eduoso num 75 na abeje ntete awie a ya nhihye age wonom kwan na aduanan nwotwe so afei na omo so ye be ma omo ntete na obodwa no awa ahafo techere senior management manager and a senior manager sustainability and internal relations Newmont Ahafo North Mines Joseph Danso echere nienti a Newmont Ghana Gold womo ASA entity edema omanfo ewopomu ho
ashisha yede eboase yebetete ye mabunu a ewo ye fotamu a yedi dwuma no na omotimi enya akwanya na omanya suangunu bi ombetimi dia ye adwuma ewo Ahafo North project construction ye ba be ye no ewo Ghana ha ye shase afimu na nadwuma die no eye nipa adiosunum a omo awi omo training ye dey omodi the because graduation and I won nipa aduanan wotwe a omo ohye omo training ase a omo so eye matriculation ene
Ahafo mantam so afo ni munyamfo George Yawboache enso so ebo Newmont fo abaso se onom de niam agu akwam se be ya wo bo aban enhihya ono susu digu akwam se wotete mabunu no ama wonom esanu dwuma
Newmont eboye na through the informal structures no omo etri yamnantia de baba wadi bi no na aban so na informal structures so enso etri enkoladi bi sadia be ya uwie o ma be gira aban so se opedwuma ye nyina ni tua se ye economy no enye kese te se advanced countries no betima absorb obia it is ye ma enipa nya employable skill na che se da chi bia no wa betima ye adwuma na wadi ho so eno nti ena mede abasobo kese many month
Onmonyanfo George Yawboache Ahafo mantam so afo ne krakra one more enya asantiti ezo mfaso bi enso so ene Peace News etwetwe nkomo
ba de ye hwe ne se ye wie ne ye metena fie ye be ye adwuma on be frɛ ni abe ye adwuma eno na ye twen
sign dey aba e dani montase se ye ko ye didie me bibia o hye ye kama enti se ye wie ye sra mo o mama ye tena fie achepa almost 2 years ni ye sra mo se ye wie training no en manimu ya ye hwe se on be frɛ ni start adwuma ne so ye nsa akoya no
de radiase na ye hwe ne se bia ni mont e be sa aka ye bio say ya o ma ye set ye hwe ne se bia o be sa frɛ se ye me ye adwuma
yenua Joe Power and obo ansemia no ebre yen
na afempinu ne aduonu mienu national best farmer mechanical engineer nana yaw sapon srebo eno de afutuo ma emeburu nyina se ekoba se eyawda ye so so obeba be ye kuani a ewo se uhunu se kua eti se wo ye business ana wa bia adwuma bi na o se wo de hye otirim sa eboa ema unya abotre ede makua na wo ye no afei wo de wakomadi akire na wankase watu hu asa tu hu acha adwuma no na wanya abotre de ama no kopem se wo baye ne kakra ama enobaye kro no a wo de ye kua no ebetumi anyini sa eya na eboa papa enti sa wo pese ye kua wo sa odwene ne se eye business e na wo ba be ye nye se wo ye na wadi adidi keke na 2022 national best farmer eka say na watcha say dwumadie bi a wo mo eye no ye 6th edition agricultural students na watcha da boaboa wo ma no eno nti eye career guidance and mentorship dialogue boot camp na wo mo aye eno eye agri house foundation for na wo maye wo mo eye de ama akuafo nkuma wo mo epese daachi bia no wo mo de kua ye wo no adwuma wo se wo pesika ntam wo mu a ene de ya na wato adwenem na wato bo ase de ama no wo so obia obe na dwen se wo ba kua mu ya na nipa na ya na dwen se kua de wo ye ni se unya ska da bi o se e wo se wo bo ase na unya abotre ma no enti nkakra afa wo be se anyini na wo be yi afa no ba be ye kua ni papa wo ba be di sika
se kua dwuma no se na e business a ye na say the business bia no I will say a man mabunu hu say uwo ma akwansidie bebre wo ho asisi akwan e wo menu nyina enye say ye ba ye na mche me ba je mo hu say me am ye national best farmer 2022 no even our abosibody am yan 2019 na me first one up asana me baba bedu hase na e wo bia no pepensu bia no e wo akwansidie ai wo say unya de si wani so a the hian say wo so wo de si wo bo say I will say unyai do baby a ubenya tenkane den say o mama nya nkopem baby tina but ini say ujai aje bia odi besi usu ani so wiase bia say ye kuadwuma o say eye adwuma suon do baby a da eye dinya enna gina ho
Any IAT 2022 National Best Farmer Mechanical Engineer Nana Yao Sapon Srebo yeti se okase. Na eno achi no ena Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture Emrashe Bedwani owo Manso Adobia onmonyamfo ya Frimpon Ado enso che se ene se wohwe kua no a enti se tetete de no ene kua no enya nkokora ne mre wankwa na eye business o fa ne say ye adwuma wo ya ebeboa enti emebunu no omo ba no obi amfa nani bre so ebra no akuakuo a wo mo eye kua ho nyoma no wo mo nya nyoma ebetumi ama emebunu nani age ho na omdo omo ho ahyem na bibiti say sa career guidance mentorship program yo mu yesi eboa ema omo ti ase
ye Ghana ha no aye mpenifo na ye kwadwuma na nyina ne se ekwan ya fa so edi mamaburu no se kwadwuma se de tie no e wo fom kakra the ministry ayi bia but so nya ekubi to say agri house no mo target mo school mo do mo attach mo aye kwadwuma nya mo fa so ni bia no ne ade a be boa pa etina the ministry so better side to make every be say value chain food value chain no find more se wudia a ko se ba be table so ayedi no steps be wo mu a emebu no betumi aye
Eni ayeti ye Deputy Minister of Food and Agriculture Mrashebedwani o woman so adobia onmunyamfo ya Afrimpon ado ena okasa ye no na ne krakra mu no Madam Alberta Nana Echa Akosa wono na ye Executive Director Agri House Foundation omudi dwumedie baye wo cheche die hye ne nkran ye mfinhyiansie ni afibia oye
program for 6 years. So, the IN say, per se, agribusiness sector, value chain sector, no, na enko nenim. Na, evako nenim swane ewo the youth of today, no, mo bet say, nyam be brase, no ma embrace we value chain opportunities in it, no, in a full cycle. Na, ye believe say, education. Either practical and not a theory is the fundamental of this growth. Every year, the students from all over the country, agri colleges, Ghana says, you are better 12 agri colleges in our universities, and so many our agri departments. It's from Kwadaso, Damango, Fair River, Aswanzi, veterinary, animal health, Way or How, Winchi, UDS, Osha Umunia, Ewahase.
Eni ayeti ye Executive Director Agri House Foundation Madam Alberta Nana Echa Akosa ena yeti ensem we nyina ye nsentwreni ama moakwa ojampa ene de ebreyen
Emrashebedwafo asetremu enne no wonomo akasa defa Honorable Dr. Anthony Osei Akoto ya wanya de baby ekro eho na Old Tafo Emrashebedwani onmunyamfo Vincent Eko Asifua wono ena wakenka nsemo a watwro ede afa Honorable Dr. Anthony Osei Akoto ho na ochiremu a na Dr. Akoto woi abo obia sim kyerese obia ni nakura nyese bia wo obia waye kukurumi kosi awiam no aka se papa yi de ni da so obia ni ho ewom se na no hododo no kakra de enso obia ni na se papa yi oba beja mu ebra etisei.
Like all members of this noble assembly and Ghanaians at large, like all members of this noble assembly and Ghanaians at large, I am truly immersed in sorrow as I stand to read these lines in honor of a man whose virtues and competence, I dare say, we may never experience again in the political landscape of our dear nation, Ghana. Like all others who heard the news of his untimely demise, I was momentarily shocked and left spellbound when I chanced upon his passing. It struck me as a bolt from the blue, and Mr. Speaker, without mincing words, I simply could not believe my ears. Indeed, I still recall my surprise when the sudden death came to my attention. A painful moment it was.
Chese Dr. Kotono, yamanyo se mu die onyi ni ono Eko Vincent Asifua nyi ni se yebeja ne so biu sanse papa no senia na odwo se na osi na de fa no na enwonwa pa eti ono wa yemra Shebedwani o otafo sisi on ne bedi Dr. Akoto se ya de na wo se wo te papa na se no wa anye ni na ebesi nne eda so ye no nwanwa na okan kwe central mra Shebedwani onmonyamfo Patrick Yaboama enso kire se Honorable Dr. Osei Akoto no wo yo bi a kire se ne ho anika ena owa abotre obuade enso so na adwuma nso so onye ho akwadworo enti ote ni wuo no na eye ne se anansesem.
I visited Dr. Akoto, Anthony Akoto Osei, on Sunday before his passing on the Monday. I was with him. We watched the Fulham-Manchester United game together. Whilst with him, I realized he wasn't too comfortable, so the nurses at home were called to come and assist one way or the other. So I made an intervention, spoke with his senior brother, and we invited a doctor home who came to take some vital statistics of his. And he was the same person who walked upstairs, went with the doctor, did everything, and he was fine. The doctor recommended some tests to be done. He took him to Uracare the next morning on Monday to undertake some tests, only to be called around 4 p.m. that he's passed. It was a very devastating blow.
Na ebra ono abo pataki abo ama eka we echi ana san asem na hyebedwani onimonyamfo Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka enso so edi we etumu.
That yes, we came into this house very young, but we learned a lot from the life of J.H. Mensah, Osa Champong, the like of Musa Saga, and many that we met. Today, we are taking too much intense positions. Both sides, those in government taking so much intense position, those in opposition taking extreme intense positions. And I can bet you, this is not helpful. It's not helpful to our country. It is not helpful to the development of Parliament. The better both sides begin to think that there is a national interest above the MPP interest and above the NDC interest, will be sinking our country.
Me Muntaka me nyini pii de nanso panifo bi aba te say senior minister J.H. Mensah Moses Asaganom ene akoto ya yeka na asem nyina wonum nyina abeye bi na esese nenchiri mai ya ewo mra hyebedwam sesi yi yesua bibi firi sa eru anom yi wonum abrabɔ ho na yegya chenchene atwan suman no a ewo donkuma ne dom kase ni nyina famu no ofanse ayire bi mra hyebedwani onmonyamfo okodwo oponkroma se ono de ya aseda ene wode ema papa yi sanse oba mra hyebedwam foforo no sa papa yi na kyere no omansi kasem senia ne ntotoye esitiefa
literally directed me in understanding a lot of the things about our economy, budgeting processes, monetary policy. He will force you to read the MPC reports and try and get you to explain if you understood why the Bank of Ghana was going in a particular direction or not. My very first debate in this chamber during the 2017 budget was because Dr. Anthony Akutose suggested that I joined the team that was going to participate in that debate. In the end, he was the one who encouraged me to take up higher studies in public accounting and finance, and actually wrote my recommendation letter to the university for higher studies. And so he's somebody who I know has mentored a lot of young people across the divide here.
Nekwakwa mu eye onmonyamfo Joe Osei Wusu ono so ka asem na hyebedwafo no omadwuma na eden enti ya omapomuden omontoto na se.
Incidentally, many of us dedicate our entire life to the work here and to our constituency. Our families suffer for the things and the achievements that we tout that we have achieved. Indeed, those achievements are at the expense of our families, our wives and children. And it's a pity that he lost his wife, and within a short period after, he has also lost his wife. Nobody rewards you for that. Finally, everybody is talking about how he relates, but it's also another example of some of the things that I think personally, that we tend to be too mean to one another. As politicians, as MPs, we tend to be mean to one another. Probably what has happened this week, the MP we have lost just the night before he was with us, the following morning he could not talk, and soon after he's gone.
Emra Shebedwamu chame abedi echire ya odi kan Joe Osei Wusu Joe Wise ena yetene nka ni de ye gina so ahomika sebo iso age aboafo nkrato ye ba sesia.
Kofi, family phone back and come message in mama.
Sister Fia send you sika from UK on Lemonade Finance.
Oh, Fia my darling. Oba Fia delay ni media mumu kin
ma enkasa kra bebre nam kwan soba busumi we abribia obenya sika $350 USD every Lemonade Finance no. Lemonade Finance besa cho 50 Ghana cedi na wodi aye wo lie
me koka che of akwa me say ono nso download wo App Store and as a Google Play Store men so me pe free sika no bi de ahwe me how far
wo busuafo ne wadofo a ewo USA Canada and UK betumi amane wo sika wo Lemonade Finance wo betumi ayusu me code delay o twendien
Lemonade Finance die ye new
yentem sa promo we be end the 31st March.
Tune it in, turn it up,
Peace FM,
and rip off the knob.
Ebusiafo kase ebono esi de di mu akotene bi ni se America man panya be de akire a wa be piem wo mamu kire se ebibrem asei eda na koma so pa se ba empuntuo di a se ono aye nipatuntumu a wa ba be ye America man no abedi akire a edi kan enka ne man panyi John Dramani Mahama kire se man panyi Akufo-Addo ene Dr. Mahmoud Bawomi aban no omo ni bibia bio won be ye ede ama Ghana de hye sanso ena edom kuma a wonum e won mrahye bedwambu afuo se enei wukọ district Assembly Common Fund yentu aye no amantoto yentumi enkoyie e wo ho mampuntuo so entumi enkom emrahye bedwafo ka e de akire University of Ghana say court nsam a obu aye efa Commonwealth Hall no hono wo munyintum na won fa buo ema court setwi be kwai manhene enso e kyese sefata se mampanyin obetimi ayi o MC ya wo betena se woni MP enkwaya aprapre na ombehwa mampuntuo atimi akoso Christian Health Association of Ghana so e de afuto ma Ghana fo se obi enya HIV anase TB yade no a yenhwe se ye beka wo mo abaye ho ne agyae se ye pampam wo mo ema wo mo ekohye edem no ensem bi ka ho ena ye de ebrem mo akenkan fo ye me akosua sapon mene
Nana yaw kesse Forever Construction and Consultancy Limited semenkai wo se yakase sa wo pasase e wo dodo wa nyameba eno ben dodo wa police station afi Chopoli domenya ofri Chopoli e ko wa 15 minutes ana se opebi wa akrampa no ben CAF University a 15 minutes na wadu budumburam ho no a ana se wutu breku area ho nyina wono e won sase ope full plot 70 by 100 anu yetwa ena afi ye wo 18,000 akoka 40,000 Ghana cedis de obotum beso ne yetwa ma wo afi ope half plot so eno ye 50 by 70 eno so 10,000 akoka 23,000 Ghana cedis ni nyina yetwa ena ye bema wo ebosia enhyehye so ama wahunu bibia kama senia enema esi ko se o sika na wo pese utua no ye be kire okwan abefa so a ubetua no asempa na number no enie asase ho asem de ye njeja na ikura o njeja no kura tie na hye no so ma me se open a friend number with 0501 518 347 050